I'm not trying to knock any of the lighting companies, but I have found some other options that are a little bit cheaper that get the job done. I think that they're just as good. So you guys might be wondering, why are these lights hanging here and why are they not on? Well, these were some lights that I got when I first started growing microgreens. I've had them for probably like 6 years or so. They've done really well, but as we expand our operation, we need to be able to add the maximum amount of lights while having the least amount of wires ran all over the place. We don't want a big mess of wires. Obviously, electricity and water don't go hand in hand with each other. Microgreen grow lights haven't been on the market for a very long time. They've really just started to come out within the last couple of years. So there wasn't really a whole lot of options. And long story short, I basically had a friend of mine that used to wire these lights for chicken houses. The lights are bright enough for what I needed to get started. So I had him hardwire these lights all together so that instead of having to have 6 extension cords going into the wall, all the lights are ran to one extension cord that plugs into the wall. So this one extension will turn all 6 lights on for this whole unit, which is really cool. It was really efficient whenever I had all my shelves kind of around the perimeter of the wall in the grow room. Because they were flat to the wall, I could plug them right into the outlet. But now we're extending our shelves library style all the way from the wall over there. So if I were to try and plug this shelving unit in, I'd have to have an extension cord that runs under the shelf all the way down to this wall. And then I'd have to come down to this next shelf and have another extension cord that runs all the way down. And then this shelf is probably close enough to where I could just plug it straight into the wall. That's no big deal. But the real challenge is the more shelves that you go across the room, the more extension cords you need to run to be able to make it all the way back to your outlets. There's a lot of different lighting options online. A lot of the lights are super expensive for what they are. I'm not trying to knock any of the lighting companies, you know, like everybody has to make their money, but I have found some other options that are a little bit cheaper that get the job done. I think that they're just as good. They don't have hoods on the lights. As you can see, these lights right here, they don't have any like reflective hood for reflection. But the cool thing about these lights are that you can see, number one, they don't have a glass bulb. So like in a glass bulb, like this light right here, your light strip goes across the bottom of the light and it only shines light down. But as you can see with our new lights, these have diodes inside the light. Like you can see, like they're angled like a triangle, so they come to a point at the tip. So like whenever the light shines, instead of having light going straight down, you have a tip that is like shooting light to both sides of the tray, which is going to give more light cover to the crops, which is going to allow them to grow more vigorously and at a faster rate. We want to make things a little bit more efficient. We want to cut down on having to run so many extension cords across the grow operation. Another thing that we really like about these lights is the plastic shield cover that already comes installed into the light. So if you're thinking about getting your GAP certification or your harmonized GAP certification so that you can sell to a large distribution company, a grocery store, anything like that, one of the requirements that they're going to require you to meet is that you can't just have glass bulbs over edible crops, because what's going to happen is if the glass were to break and it fell down into the greens, you're going to have to do a whole recall process on any potential greens that might be contaminated with broken glass, and that's just a huge risk. So in order to be GAP certified, the only way that they will actually give you the certification is to have plastic covers over any type of glass that you would have over your crops. That's another reason why we decided to make the switch in lights. But to my point about cutting down on extension cords, one reason that we really like these lights is they do something that's called a daisy chain. So these lights actually connect one to the next light through a small extension cord to the next light, to the next light, all the way down to the wall, where I can come right over here and I can actually flip the entire row of lighting off the system. and then I can turn it back on. So this makes it super efficient, super easy to get all my lights all the way down. I'm really liking how the crops have been adjusting to the light. My cilantro crops have been producing really fat true leaves, which has been great. My growth rate has definitely increased. You know, and it's not just thanks to the lights, you know, there's a lot of different factors, but yeah, this is why we decided to change our lights. We're in the process of it. Hopefully by the next video that we shoot, we won't have these big ugly lights up anymore, and we'll just have our nice slim lights. But that's kind of what we're doing over here. If you guys are interested in finding these lights, I'll make sure to put a materials list in the caption. They're just on Amazon. You can get 10 for $100. It's the cheapest, most efficient lighting source that I've been able to find online. If you guys have some lights that you guys are using that are cheaper, that might work better, please let me know about them in the comments. But other than that, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you so much. Y'all have a nice day.